Hello there, you sexy people. Tony Stark has always been Doctor Doom, so says a popular fan theory, and as a total geek, there is no way I can just walk past it without talking about it. In fact, it is a pretty interesting, and unlike most theories, it actually has a logical foundation. It combines several fan ideas, and together they form a complete picture. It sounds insane, but the more you dig into it, the more suspicious it becomes. What if the real Tony Stark never existed in this universe? What if his entire legacy is fake and he himself is a variant of Victor Von Doom? But how is it possible? Let's go back to Endgame. During Tony and Steve's trip to 1970s, Tony meets his father, and it's a very touching moment. But there is one detail no one really paid attention to until Downey Jr. got the role of Doctor Doom: the elevator dialogue, where Howard says his wife is currently pregnant, and Tony's reaction is very strange, as if he's really shocked. What if he realizes the dates don't line up? What if the baby actually died and Tony was adopted later? And that adopted boy was no other than Victor Von Doom. If you trace Tony's life, you see his complicated relationship with his parents, as if he always felt like an outsider. When you see a picture of Tony, what do you see? A genius intellect, dependence on technology, and a fragile ego. These are the core traits of Victor Von Doom as well. There is a lot of overlap between them. Essentially, they are the same character type. The only difference is that Victor is alone. He makes all the decisions by himself. He has no restraining factors unlike Tony. Tony had Pepper, Fury, the Avengers, Peter, all of them in one way or another influenced him and held back his impulses. But even they didn't always succeed. Tony and Victor are both obsessed with saving humanity. Stark, driven by his fears, created Ultron, who almost destroyed the world. After that, out of guilt, he signs the Sokovia Accords, which break the team, and then Thanos arrives, and the divided heroes lose. His ego, fear, and obsession with saving the world lead to their downfall. He's a hero constantly walking on the thin ice. One wrong move and he becomes a global threat. Ultron doesn't see a difference between saving the world and destroying it. Where do you think he gets it from? We know how strongly the people close to Tony affected his mental state. Signing the Accords came not only from the guilt, but also from his breakup with Pepper. He tried to find a compromise. In Endgame, he initially refuses to help, but memories of Peter Parker bring him back to the team. Now imagine all of these people never existed and Tony never met them. What would the world look like? It's quite possible Tony would have destroyed humanity by creating Ultron or taking total control simply because he saw no better option. Ringing the bells? Dr. Doom is convinced that only he can take control of a city, humanity, or even the entire multiverse. In his view, no one but him can handle it. I think these films will be a surprise for people. We found a way to tell a story that really excites us, but we also think it's very radical. What is radical about this story if not for the attempt to turn the cinematic universe upside down and look at familiar characters from a completely different angle? And indeed, if Tony turns out to have been Doom from the start, it gives a whole new perspective on the MCU, where the main hero has lived a false life. It gets even more fun to think about when you remember the soft reboot after Secret Wars. Insiders hint that Downey might remain as Doom after Avengers, while the veteran heroes are replaced by new faces. This time, we would have all the characters at once, but Tony would already be played by a different actor. If this idea is correct, the real Tony might show up briefly in the future Avengers film, then be carefully introduced into the MCU. From a story standpoint though, a question appears: why wasn't Tony there from the start? Why wasn't he Doctor Doom instead? The answer is simple. This is the plan of He Who Remains. We know how important he was for the multiverse, but what exactly did he do? He pruned unnecessary timelines, basically preventing alternate universes from being born. Thanks to his actions, many Kang variants were never created, and the multiversal war never happened. But there's another person who is also a threat to the multiverse, and that is Doctor Doom. Knowing this, He Who Remains created the sacred timeline in which Victor is adopted by the Starks. He grows up under the mask of Tony. No Latveria, no magic, no scarred face. He never unlocks his true potential, remaining limited to advanced technology, and all of his attempts to cross the line are neutralized by distractions. He Who Remains not only crushed Doom's identity, but also mocked him by molding him into Earth's greatest hero. But He Who Remains is gone. Loki is now holding the multiverse together, allowing new branches to grow. One of these is Universe 828, the world of the Fantastic Four, and in it there is Doctor Doom. He does not appear in the film because he's focused on something far more important, the problem of the multiverse. He begins his investigation and stumbles upon Universe 616, where his variant died after living a life as Tony Stark. And this works to his advantage. Victor is a manipulator. He uses Franklin to heal his face, and then heads to Earth 616. He pretends to be Tony Stark in order to gain the Avengers' trust and strikes when they least expect it. He gets hold of American Chavez and the Sentry, as well as Kamala's bracelets. All of it just to reach Loki. This Doom is not just another villain, he's a ghost that was buried and has come back to reclaim himself and his place. So yes, it is entirely possible Tony Stark has always been Victor Von Doom. He just was never allowed to become him. He Who Remains rewrote his life. And all of this time, we have been watching Doom without knowing he was Doom. This theory really appeals. It is extremely risky and radical, but that makes it all the more interesting. How things actually turn out, only time will tell. All we can do is to wait. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Share thoughts down in the comments. See you in other videos. Bye for now.